Happy Wednesday, socialites. Welcome to the best damn social club in the universe. I am your host, Jedi ASU, and thank you so much for spending a little bit of your Wednesday night with me and my guests. And we're excited to finally talk about ASU football in this crazy year. So, as always, make sure you sit back, relax, pour yourself a drink, and let's get social. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of December, in the year of our COVID 2020. Hopefully, all is well with you this midweek. And again, as we were sharing, it is an exciting time because we get to go ahead and talk about ASU football. And I have three outstanding friends and guests part of this. Gentlemen, you are live on the stream. We have Nick Granillo, Jared Brandt, and Jeff Okrepke. Gentlemen, welcome so much. As one of the first questions that I pose to you, Jeff, go ahead and kick us off. What have you been doing the past 3 weeks to pass the time without any football? Excellent. How about you, Jared?
My teams and not really watching other stuff because I don't know. It's just been really strange with stuff kind of maybe getting canceled, maybe happening. Like just
Right.
haven't gotten so invested in all the other stuff. So we've been doing a lot of golfing, a lot of hiking, just whatever. We bought a dartboard. We've just been looking for shit to do. like so yeah, I don't know. It's just been such a weird year for just sports stuff. But I'm excited to watch another game. It's about time, I'd say.
Exactly. And I love darts. I don't know if you're playing 501 or 301, but darts is fun.
These Zooms, we've done Zoom tournaments with our friends, so let's do it.
Very nice. No, I love it. And again, apologize to everyone in the chat. Again, you couldn't hear it. That was a bit of a technical difficulty, but it sounds like I can see they can hear everyone now. I've turned up the volume, so we should be good. Nick, how about you, man? I know you're big tailgating and everything else. How's your dad all dealing with the no football drought?
Yeah, it's been rough on us, and like you mentioned, we're usually tailgating, out up in the stadium structure there, and I think everyone kind of misses being together and getting ready to watch some football. Um, yeah, I think we're trying to fast forward to next year already, so hopefully we can go. But um, other than that, yeah, the last few weeks just been playing golf. I'm kind of a video game nerd, so I've been playing a ton of video games. A lot of Call of Duty, a lot of Animal Crossing recently on the Switch. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a little weird. It hurts to watch other teams play and
Right.
you not get to watch your team play. So we're adjusting, but the nice thing is we will get a game this week. So looking
Absolutely.
forward to it.
And to that end, right, it has been 4 weeks. So what did you like about the USC game, Nick?
Uh, what I liked about well, one, just seeing us play, because I know we weren't about to have a season.
Right.
So definitely watching us play was great. I know we it was nice to yell and scream at the TV again. Um, that's we always warn our neighbors and that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing going on in our household. It's just we're yelling at the TV because it's the ASU football's on. Um, but yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, but also from the game standpoint, I thought we came out of the gates pretty good. We played well enough to win. Few big mistakes there late in the game and kind of cost us, but I mean, we do have a young team at a lot of parts, so it was good to see some of the vets play well and also some of the freshmen play well.
Absolutely. That's a definite key point that I had to keep reminding myself is that they're still very young despite how many of them played. How about you, Jared? What did you think of the USC game?
Well, yeah, same as Nick. I mean, I was just happy to watch them play football. You read all this stuff and heard everything all through the summer, and then we thought they were going to get to play in whatever that was, September, and then they couldn't play, and then we didn't think there were going to be a season, and then there was going to be a season, and and the Bay Area teams couldn't play, and then it's like I don't know what's going to happen. So I was just happy to see them on the field for sure, and I mean I was just happy to see them play really well. I thought minus the last 5 minutes of the game or so. I mean they were way more solid than I ever could have expected them to be, especially with that much time off and the new coordinators and everything. I think probably my favorite thing about it was like both of those new running backs look like they're going to be awesome. They just look great, and I don't know. They both look different too, which is kind of cool because then you'll kind of have the bigger dude and the kind of shiftier kind of slicer guy, so slasher. So I don't know. That was probably my favorite part of it because I think that'll take a lot of pressure off of Jaden, and that could be really awesome going into next year. So.
Agreed. No, I like that a lot. It's just they were used a lot differently because I think that's kind of what we were expecting to see with the Kalen Ballage, Demario Richard combination, right? We wanted to see that a lot more, and now we actually get to see it with Zach Hill's offense. So, how about you, Jeff? Go ahead.
Trainum actually looks like he might be kind of physical too, and
yes,
as opposed to Ballage.
That was good. No, he's again he doesn't hit and fall, but anyway.
Yeah.
Jeff, how about you, Jeff? What did you do? What did you think about the USC game?
I mean, yeah, just echoing what the other guy said. Just having football, Pac-12 ASU football back was nice. And then, yeah, the running game. I mean, after Eno left, we were all really concerned because we were spoiled with how talented Eno was. And we had the opportunity to bring in all these guys, not just Chip Trainum and White, but you have Danny Nagata.
Yep.
Came in and kind of see like what they are. I think what you were trying to think of right there was kind of a thunder and lightning attack.
Yep.
You got Chip Trainum who's 5'11", 230, which is kind of hard to believe someone shorter than me can weigh more than me and be completely physical, in complete game shape. But you have that, and he's not like Ballage, which was, I mean, straight line, like not good at cutting, just straight line. He'll bowl you over, but if he's got some help. But Chip Trainum was able to move, and he's going to be a yak monster, I think, coming up this season. Just being able to take hits and shrug them off. And a very different. I mean, Eno was more shifty, like he'd move his body and kind of make you miss. Whereas this guy is kind of a more Chip Trainum seems like a more Bo Jackson, like just really hard to take down.
That's going to be
tackles,
good.
No DB tackles.
Right. And Rashad White, I think, was the other guy that was just blowing up all over the place. And he just had some really smooth, brilliant runs. I mean, I think that was Rashad White where he went out on the outside and he just had 3 USC defenders and like none of them could catch him. They're just like kind of stumbling over each other. So I guess that's why it was just good to see.
It was crazy. Now that you bring that up, it was crazy. He went from first to fifth gear so fast, and
it was cool.
Didn't even look like he did it. Like
absolutely,
literally, like there's those 3 guys. You're like, oh, he's gonna get tackled, and all of a sudden he just destroyed their angles. It was crazy.
It was awesome too because it's like it was the only thing that came to mind. It's like, oh, that's what it's like, for someone. For it's like to have someone that can do that. We're like, oh, that's actually very cool. We got that, so it actually works out well. So. And coming into this week, right, I know that we have Jack Jones and Asari Crosswell both suspended indefinitely. Some of the information has been on the message boards. Again, I don't have any specific details, but Nick, I'm sorry, Jeff, go ahead and start us off. What were some of your thoughts about that or anything else that you've read? And, what kind of impact will it have?
Well, without giving any of the insider info that some of us paid to read, and I don't want to throw Hode or Cartman under the bus by giving away inside stuff, but you can say like there's a lack of urgency or panic on their behalf. It's none of the insiders, none of the beat reporters are kind of like, oh my gosh, it's a huge thing.
Right.
I think Brad Denny said it when he said he brought up the Herm quote of "I don't have rules, I have standards."
Yes.
And that kind of, it's one of those things where it's like, all right, they probably didn't meet a standard that ticked off Herm. May not be a big deal to some other coaches like Dennis Erickson, but for Herm, it's a big deal.
Yes.
And the term indefinitely is always interesting, right? Because it could be, if they could be dressed on Saturday and just not play the first half, or they could be out for the entire game.
Right.
So it's kind of like hey, this is time for you to learn your lesson and grow up kind of a situation. At least that's how I interpret it.
Absolutely. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, you never like to see players get put on the shelf for disciplinary issues, but um, like he said, mentioned that he's got there's team rules and they need to be followed, and they it applies to everyone, not just freshmen or juniors. It applies to the seniors, the leaders. And as leaders, they have to set an example to make sure that
Right.
they're setting a good example for the younger players. And yeah, especially losing someone like Crosswell, in the secondary, who's always been a ball hawk for us the last few years. And, same with Jack Jones stepping in and coming in as a transfer and really, playing very, very well at the corner position, especially, the game I remember specifically was Oregon last year.
Right.
Really had a pretty good game. And, um, and like I said, it's next man up. There's time to grow up and, got to go out there and get reps in and, play some football. And so,
Exactly. I think
like
there's
you said,
quite a few behind
an
him.
urgency and let them go in there and play. They gotta. That's what they're brought to. They're gonna play football. So
Exactly. And there's fortunately talent behind them that can play and kind of fill that in. So, and ain't no one going to, target Chase Lucas since he's definitely a known quantity. How about you, Jared? What were you thinking?
As the other guys, like it doesn't sound like it's really serious, or at least like it didn't. Whatever they did doesn't seem serious if they like handle it the right way or whatever. I don't know. I was just kind of bummed for both of them because I was like really excited for Jack Jones this year. It seemed like with the real off season and just the strength and conditioning, like he just looked different. Against USC, he just looked bigger. He looked like an NFL cornerback. Like he just looked the part.
Right.
So it's a bummer for him. I mean, he didn't. He had cramps the whole game. So I mean, it's like whoever, if it's Marcus Davis or whoever it is behind him, I'm not so worried about that. I think he'll be fine. And Crosswell didn't even play that much, so I just hope the Crosswell part of it's not some sort of attitude issue or whatever. I mean, you can kind of go down a rabbit hole if you start to try to think, well, what was it? Because nobody's really saying, but it's just you hope that that's not what it is, since he was supposed to be a starter and then didn't hardly play and maybe he's frustrated. So I hope that's not what it is.
Agreed. Yeah, there's always, some sort of conspiracy theory, or did you look at the tweets or this or that, or who else knows, right? So there's always, like you said, the rabbit hole that we can go down down and chase down. So shout out to everyone. Thanks again for joining the show. Keegan Herring's in the chat, sends his best. Res Devil, how you doing? Wes Franco, Joe Whitener, Andrew Taylor, J Pop, the famous Jonathan Poppy, ESPN Twitter fame. You got a celebrity in the chat, as they were saying.
We're not worthy.
That's right. We are blessed with his presence, along with the Queen of Levine, Res Devil. So excellent. So yeah, so absolutely, and that's what I'm kind of concerned about. But hopefully we will see, because again, I'm a huge Jack Jones fan as well, given how he had his struggles coming in and how they've actually vouched for him all the way up to Dr. Crow. And so I was actually very excited to see him successful, given my own personal struggles when I was there at ASU. So kind of it bummed me out. So anyway, that hopefully it works out well. So Jared, did you get to watch any UCLA games?
Watching when they were playing U of A last weekend, but I wasn't paying that much attention to it. We were whatever, we were doing something else. So
it was background noise. Exactly. I wasn't studying it either.
I was just happy they were winning. So I didn't really watch anything.
Exactly.
I understand that they have a running back that's good. That's about all I know about them.
Exactly.
Still there.
Right. How about you, Nick? Did you get to watch it at all either?
Yeah, I haven't watched any UCLA games yet, but to piggyback off what Jared said, I think they beat U of A, so that's always great. And I know that team is always loaded with talent, so they're going to be good, and we gotta be ready for them. And Chip Kelly's still there. So,
yeah, we were talking about Chip Long earlier.
I know we were talking about it before. So, but yeah, I mean, I know they won some other big games earlier. So,
well, I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think at DTR, I think the quarterback is out. And again, Jeff, I don't know if you've seen that, or I don't, if any of you guys can confirm it, but I know he's out. But I guess the backup's pretty serviceable, and the running back is actually pretty cool too. So hopefully our run defense will stop that. But I mean, Jeff, how about you? Did you watch UCLA? Any impressions from them?
I didn't watch any of their Colorado game. I watched enough of the Oregon game to determine they were not going to keep up with Oregon, and then switched to better football. And then U of A, obviously, just watching them suffer,
Watching them
great.
lose.
But yeah, Felton, that's the running back you're thinking of. That dude he's a workhorse, especially with DTR out. I think DTR didn't play last week. Griffin's the kid's name,
Right.
UCLA. And I don't think DTR has been back to practice.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah, they've been feeding Felton, and there's another guy, Brown, the JC transfer that's good for 70-ish yards or so a game. And I mean, Felton is continually rushed for more and more and more and more. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if DTR is out and you have a backup who's serviceable and the running backs just gouging people for, over 200 yards. I mean, hold on, I brought up some stats. He had 167 and 2 against Oregon, the vaunted Oregon Austin defense.
Exactly.
Which, take that for what it's worth, because Jamar Jefferson scorched him as well last week. But he did put up 206 and a touchdown against U4. So I mean, he can obviously run the ball, and he's in LA, so he probably gets more hype than any of the guys that we have, or whatever. So I think it's one of those things where if you got the backup quarterback in and a dominant running back, you make them beat you with their arm, and may not be great with Crosswell and Jones out, but Markham and Pierce can step up and hopefully fill some of those gaps and make them beat you with their arm.
Exactly. And that was the other thing too that I noticed from the Colorado game, and we dodged a bullet by not playing Colorado because I bought them week 1 and I was impressed with Colorado, but I think one of the things that that UCLA couldn't do with Colorado was just keep up. And I don't think I remember ever seeing any of the long ball from a passing perspective. I just remember it being a lot on the ground. So that was, I think, if we're looking at some of the stats, I was reviewing the USC game, and I think USC had like 300 and some odd yards in the air, but only like 130 on the ground. So if you have to be run heavy, given the defense that we have, I think that bodes well. But I'm not sure if we'll see how he decides to lob that ball if he's able to. So I think that's going to be a curiosity as well. So, Res Devil says freshman for QB for UCLA look good. You mentioned that as well, Jeff. Felton is big, doesn't look fast, but might be his size that just makes him look slow and he gets yards. And then Keegan Herring just shared he's ready to see our backs again. Seems like it's been forever. So absolutely being able to see some power backs like that would be absolutely brilliant to have out there as well. Josh Kelly, he was at he was UCLA. Who was he?
Yeah, he was a running back last year.
Was that who that was? I just keep remembering that tight end Wilson. He just blew us up a couple years too. I'm still scarred. I'm still scarred from that game, man. I'm like, oh. Shout out to Paul Hornstein joining us from the East Coast. I think he gets the distance award right now. He's out in Long Island. So Jared, for you, just starting off, looking forward to the UCLA game. Other than a win, what would you like to see in the UCLA game from our Sun Devils?
I'd like to see Jaden and the offense kind of get rolling. I mean, I understand that, Darby went out and, the receivers are young and they weren't getting separation. USC is a better defense than UCLA is probably. So it was probably just a really tough ask coming out of the gate. But I'd really like to see, the Zach Hill offense and some of this stuff and get some guys in open space and get some yak and get, just kind of get the whole thing going. So it's not just so. I mean, the running game looked great, and we can keep doing that, and that's fine with me. But I'd like to see the passing game get going a little bit.
Yeah, again, having that in the air, absolutely. Because, I mean, I think that was one of the things we're all expecting to see with Frank Darby, and then when he went out, and I think, I think we had a wide receiver. Wilson, is it Wilson? We have one that's Wilson that he kind of, I think it was Jaden was just trying to give him some confidence. I guess that's why he kept throwing the ball at him, and I think there would have been some brilliant catches, brilliant yardage if he just caught the ball. But again, I think that's and
some of those were.
What was that, Jeff?
Some of those are. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just gonna say he needs some Bolitnikov style stickum, moving off his arms.
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Well, and it looked to me like some of that too. I mean, because he's great, big, and he's tall, and probably in high school, he could just be big and tall and just sort of overpower, especially defensive backs, and now. He's got to get aggressive and go and get the ball. You watch, even watch good college, wide receivers going to the NFL, and it's different. You have to like fight for it, and
Right.
that's just something he's going to have to learn. And that's just having young wide receivers. And that's why sometimes receivers, one of those things that takes a little while for people to kind of get. So,
Right. That's a brilliant point. Just being aggressive about it and going for it rather than just having the ball magically there just because I'm big and tall. Right. How about you, Nick? What do you think? What do you want to see other than a win in the UCLA game?
Yeah, kind of piggyback off Jared again. I think seeing the offense come into its own and be a little more smooth and kind of throw the ball around. And I think I remember seeing Jane Daniels kind of grabbing Wilson by the face mask or the
Yes.
helmet, and he was like telling him like, "Hey, you're okay. Let's get on the same page, and you're going to be fine." And it's always good to have keep that leadership in the locker room. We definitely need that. But I think what I really want to see is to keep seeing the pressure from the D line causing bad throws. And I know in the second quarter, third quarter especially, we really settled down and made some good stops and
Right.
put some good pressure on Slovis to force him to throw the ball into some bad areas um, and even into the fourth quarter as well. So yeah, I think getting some good pressure on the D line. I know ASU's always had a history of great D line and giving pressure with guys like Crump and Will Sutton and
Right.
you know Goodman or no Devon Goodman or something like I forget his last name, but um, yeah, I mean just get some more pressure, keep them off balance, and get some turnovers.
That's what I'm glad you brought up defense because that's what I'm excited to see because it just feels like the Zach Hill offense will click eventually, but I think that the defense is really what I want to see to just be able to shut them down. How about you, Jeff? What were you?
For me, I mean, I agree with everybody on the passing. I'd love to see that get going. I think a lot of it, when you look at what these kids, you have a lot of freshmen playing, right, on the offense. I mean, we had that 2 years ago on the defense where all of a sudden all these brand new guys are playing and there's a lot of confidence issues. And then we're also cherry picking recruits out of Southern California. So, your first game in a weird situation with COVID where you're kind of practicing, but not really, then you're back, you maybe trying to install a new offense via Zoom or whatever. And then you go up against USC. And as much as we all hate to admit it, USC is still USC, right? They're still the West Coast, behemoth. If not on the scoreboard, then at least in reputation. So, these guys are coming out against a USC team, which is probably also going to be the best defense we face all year. So,
Yes.
that's gonna unnerve some of these young guys. Not all of them have the ice in the veins like JD5, but I think just for me, as long as there's no drop off from game one, because that's the biggest concern for me is getting ramped up like that, playing USC, a heartbreaker. There's all this emotion. You're in the season, and then boom, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, you're done. You're not, some guys didn't even practice for that long. So getting them ramped back up. So if they're just as equal with this weird scenario we're in with COVID in 2020, I would be happy just to see that.
I agree. Right. I think I'm most concerned about not having practice time where UCLA is, I guess, on their third straight game, I guess I should say. So, they're moving along. They're not necessarily, what's the word, gelling, because again, it's just, you don't come together in the fourth game of the season, but at least they've come together more than we have, which is, my biggest concern as well. And that kind of leads us to our next question. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was going to say that in terms of gelling, when you look at the offense, it's not just you have a JC transfer and a freshman running back, right? You have 2 grad transfer offensive linemen. You have 2 grad transfer tight ends. You have Darby, who's taken the number 1 role for the first time. And then you have 2
and
freshmen.
Who knows what his
Wilson
condition is, right?
And LV that are stepping up. So it's like, gel is really the right word. Is like you have all these brand new parts with a brand new offense. You just want it to get to a functioning standpoint.
That's interesting you say that. And that's interesting you say that too, because it almost feels like the defense gelled faster than the offense, even though there was some hit and miss stuff that happened. Fortunately, there's talent to compensate for that. But you're right. How did the defense get to gel that way, especially given the changes in the secondary? So we'll see how that one goes as well. Mike Wren out there, excited about the defense as well. Curious to see how our DBs are as deep and as wide as we believe that they are. and defense absolutely has to step up per Paul Hornstein. So I agree with you. So that's going to be if ASU gets a win. Well, the only way I guess ASU will win this game is if the defense steps up. But we'll actually all get to witness that in but a few short sleeps. So other than a loss, Jeff, what do you not want to see ASU do against UCLA?
I mean, two things. One, definitely just getting gouged by the run. Because that's the only way they beat us, right? At this point, that's the only thing they've shown that they can dominate with is a run. And then I don't want to see Daniels run for over 100 yards.
Same.
We don't run like an Oregon Mariota, Chip Kelly type offense where a quarterback running is part of the main focus. He, I mean, don't get me wrong. JD5 is great at what he does at recognizing, oh, you have a gap, I'm going to exploit the hell out of that, or extending plays, or whatever. And he ran for like over 100 against USC.
Right.
But if we're relying on that as part of our offense, there's bigger issues of either receivers not getting open or offensive line not giving them enough time for things to open up.
I kind of feels that was a way. The O-line really didn't give him a lot of time initially, like maybe the first two series or something. But towards the end of the first quarter and even throughout the game, it felt like Jayden Daniels got more time. But I mean, what about you, Jared? What do you not want to see against UCLA?
One funny answer is I don't want to see him punt at all. Like, I just want to see him go up and down the field. But no, I mean, the same as Jeff. Like, I mean, I don't want to see him get, dominated in the run game. I think we had a really good showing against the dominant pass offense in the first game. And if this is a dominant run offense, it'd be nice to see us be able to shut them down too, or at least limit them, And I think, especially if they're limited passing, we should have every opportunity to do that. And there's no reason that a 4-3 defense can't shut down the run. I mean, that's kind of what it's built for. NFL defenses are sort of stop the run first and then figure out the other stuff. So, or at least classically, that's what it is. Probably not so much anymore. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is really just to not give up big plays in the running game and not allow them to just sustain offense just by running the ball 2-3 times every time and get 10, 15, 20 yards.
Absolutely. Nick, how about you? What do you not want to see against UCLA?
I think big plays is the one I really wanted to go with. I know in the past we've always given up some really big runs that cost us some games late in the game or even early in the game, 60, 70 hard runs and some big passes. And, I think some of the mental errors definitely can fine tune those and clean them up a little bit.
Right.
Just silly things like, if like a late hit or something, or getting frustrated with a guy talking smack to you or something like that, and you kind of retaliate. But yeah, I don't want to see us get too over emotional. But I think big plays is going to be huge for us. Like they said, the run game is going to be good, so if we can figure out how to shut them down on run and make them one dimensional, I think that's going to be big for us.
And that's definitely it. I know Res Devil just read my mind. I know this is an unreal expectation, but I don't want us to allow any third downs get converted. I mean, Res doesn't want to see a 3rd and 17 get converted, but I mean, if I die, it'll probably be down during when ASU allows a 3rd down conversion. I think is probably that's what's going to take my life. I don't know when, but anyway, may it be a long time away. So, but yes, so. I know that, so had some predictions. I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to kind of give you your chance to kind of share who you think or how you think the team is going to perform. So, Nick, you start us off. We got the first one, total yards passing. How many yards do you think? And you can give me a range. You don't have to give me an exact number. I won't hold you to that, but anyway.
Give me Jayden Daniels for 345 yards passing.
345. I like it. That would be good. All that in the air. That would be good too, because it was, like 500-600 yards combined would be awesome. But that's just me. Jared, how about you, man? How many total passing yards are we going to have on Saturday? Oh, Did I lose you? Yo, you're on mute, man. There it is.
Of course. I have him for a nice total of 269 yards.
260.
Nice.
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 Jeff, how about you?
I'm gonna go in like the 285 range. I think we're gonna be able to open it up more than we did against USC, just because it's not as a talented of defense as we face against USC. But I also think that there's a nice balance in the offense with what we're able to do, passing and rushing wise. That's gonna no, I don't think 350 is gonna be realistic, just because we're gonna be able to spread it out more.
Okay. Rez is saying the same about 250 to 300, so that's the same exact range. Total pass. How about you, Jared? How many rushing yards are we going to get on Saturday?
We're going to go 210 yards.
210. Nice. Jeff, how about you, man?
I said 220. I'm gonna go Price is Right on you. And
Yeah, but you can't go over, right? And Price is Right.
Yeah, exactly. But I think like
because
I
you bid low.
With White and Traina, man, I think we're going to be able to do some great things on the ground. I think we're going to be ahead by a decent amount at the end, so we're just going to keep feeding the ball on the ground to drain the clock. And then JD5, as always, I'm just going to casually jaunt down the sideline for a 15-yard gain.
Yep, I love it. And how about you, Nick? Where are you putting your money on? How many rushing yards are we going to have?
I'm going to go with 210 yards.
210? Okay. And because of that, who's going to be the top receiver with those 345 yards that you are predicting, Nick?
I'm going to say Wilson has a bounce back game here. He's going to get some good catches, get out in space, create some separation. I think he's hungry to get back out there and show what he can do. So I'll take Wilson for most yards.
Right on. Jared, how about you, man?
LV Bunkley Shelton. I don't know. I just love that kid.
So. I love him too. I just can't say his last name. I always botch it up. I'd stop trying it on one of the preview shows. I'm like, I'm not even going to say it.
Kid.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him some more. He didn't get a lot of targets at the USC game because I think Jaden Daniels knows he can do it, but I think he was just trying to build up Wilson that game.
Quite a few targets early, and then he fumbled that ball. I think it was the second quarter or something like that. And they didn't really go at it much after that. So I don't know. I'm excited to see him. If he can get in some space, I think he can do some pretty cool stuff. So
agreed. Take us home. What do you think? Who's the top receiver, Jeff?
I'm gonna go with LV Bunkley Shelton too. I think if Johnny Wilson has that bounce back game, which I think he will, and then you have Darby coming back as the number one on the outside. Porter and Pearsall doing their job. What you're going to end up seeing is you're going to see LV Bunkley Shelton in the slot mismatched against a safety or God forbid a linebacker, and he's going to do. And the defensive style of UCLA, they press a lot, right? So they're really susceptible to that dink and dunk kind of offense, like 8 to 11 yards at a time, just like boom, boom, boom. And I think you're going to see LV Bunkley Shelton kind of like a Hunter Renfrow role of just like those 8-yard, 9-yard over the middle, and he's going to break a few of them, and take him for a large gain.
I love the way you put that too. It's the dink and dunk, because it just feels like even last year we couldn't take advantage of that. It seems like this offense is a little bit more. How do I say? It's more. It's more conducive to be able to do that kind of dink and dunk playing rather than last year, the year before. So I think that's what's exciting about that. And
you look at those three receivers. I mean, they're vastly different, right? So like you have Johnny Wilson, who's going to entice any offensive coordinator to throw him a goal line fade, which is the worst because of his height. And then you have Darby, which, I mean, his legs are his legs. I mean, there's no
exactly.
It's quick. And then you have LV Bunkley Shelton, who's a smaller dude, but he's shifty and can come out of a break real quick and get some space to make something happen. Jaden Daniels has a lot of fun things to play with in this offense.
I absolutely love, like you were saying, having him in the slot. Now that I understand the positioning where a slot goes, now I like. So now I barely taught myself that recently. So now that I know what you're talking about, I'm like, yes, he lines up beautifully there. I don't know if Darby is 100%. I don't know if anyone else can confirm that, but I don't know. You saw that he's not, Jared, or you don't know? Okay,
I haven't really heard.
got it. Um, Top rusher, Jared. Who we got? It's 210 yards. Who you think is going to take it? Say that again. Keep I keep losing you.
White?
White. Thank you. I'm glad you said the whole because it all there's like a delay. Like you have to like anyway. Because like I got the last part of his last name, so I'm like okay. Rashad White. I love his style. So yeah. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, I think Rashad White too. He really showed some great explosiveness against USC, both in the passing and in the running game. I like him to have a big day.
I think he was. I think he was a one. I think he was a leading rusher or something like that, or maybe the leading average. I think he had the biggest average. I'll have to double check that, but I think I remember looking at that as well. So, how about you, Jeff? Leading rusher.
I'm going with Chip Trayanum. Like I said, he's a yards after contact machine. You know, he's going to have these tiny nickelbacks, you know, bouncing off of him. And he's going to be my pick because I think he's going to be more of the grind kind of guy. But I also think, you know, you can't sleep on Daniels. I was looking at it. UCLA gave up over 4 yards a carry to a true freshman QB at that school down south last week. Which, if you're giving up 4 yards a carry to a quarterback, that includes tackles for loss, sacks, all that stuff. That means you're either not spying them or you're just leaving them, you know, things open for him to take advantage of. And that's a true freshman can see that.
Could that be due to some of the UCLA O line play? Because I don't know how experienced the UCLA O line is, so I wasn't sure if it was something they were doing. I don't know. That's that was one of the things. That's actually a hell of a stat, given almost 5 yards. So if that's the case, then I guess White and Trayanum are going to have a hell of a day, which is what we'll want. On the defensive side, Nick, who's going to have the most tackles? Who's going to be our top tackler this time?
I'm going to take Merlin Robinson on that one. I think he's just all over the place. If the ball's in that area, he's in that area somewhere. Guy's just really, really good. He's just has great awareness, really knows, understands the game and sees it very well. So I think Merlin has the most tackles.
Jeff, how about you?
Yeah, I think Merlin as well. I mean, with a passing game, presumably not going to be with DTR out and just the amount of running they do, you're not going to see guys get to the defensive backfield as much. And so I think Merlin's going to eat pretty well this weekend. I'm also interested for D-line play. I want to see Matus again, Mad Dog Matus.
Yeah.
He surprised a lot of people because I think there was a few of us that like saw him as one of the starters on defense. We're like, really? Like, are we sure? And then he showed up against USC of all teams. So I want to see him. I want to see what he has to offer again.
It was interesting because I think the first sack was actually a Pierce Matus combo, which was actually something that no one kind of expected, but they were the first two with the sack. So it was actually exciting to see that with people we didn't have last year actually making the first key play against USC. How about you? Who has the most tackles, Jared?
I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to say Evan Fields does. I think they're going to be able to commit extra, the strong safety, obviously, to the line of scrimmage because I think they're going to be run heavy. And that means Evan should have a lot of, unblocked runs to the running back. And man, when he hits people, they just stop. Like he is a stopper and I love it. And I just can't wait to see him hit that kid. I mean, maybe it's just wishful thinking, but I think him and Robertson and Darian Butler are probably all going to have huge games. If they're running this kid 34 times a game or whatever it looks like, just kind of glancing at some of their box scores, like those guys are going to put their shoulders into some people. So
and that was it. And I'm glad you brought him up because Fields was the leading tackler against USC. So that was again good to see him out there. But yeah, I think Matus is actually a very cool, shiny new name to be excited about. So glad you brought him up. So, Jared, give us your game prediction. Who's going to win and what's the score?
At ASU winning, obviously. I took a look at Vegas just to see what the odds were, and I guess we're favored by 3.5 or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
something real close.
I don't know. Like the little bit that I saw about them against U of A, like I mean U of A looks like dog shit, like they should, and
thankfully
it just didn't like UCLA just seemed like they struggled with them a little too much, especially with that backup quarterback. I mean, maybe they're
Right.
just keeping it close to the vest or whatever, but I think if we're as good as I think we are, and as good as we looked against USC for the first, 3.5 quarters, I don't think it should really be all that close. I put down 32-24. I think they might score towards the end, but I think we'll win pretty comfortably, honestly.
And to your point about how UCLA struggled, it's because PFF says that UCLA struggles against Grant Granillo. Always.
Maybe they should open up college football focus.
Something, right? Something legit
maybe,
like that.
Maybe then it won't be dumb as shit.
Exactly. Jeff, how about you, man? Who's going to win and what's the score?
I got ASU 35-16. I don't know, maybe it's the optimist in me, but I think UCLA with a backup QB, the inability is going to have a hard time moving the ball in the air against us versus some of the other teams they faced with their backup QB. And I think they're going to have a hard, to your liking, I think they're going to have a hard time converting those long third downs. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. I think
that doesn't hurt my heart as much.
But like if you're 3rd and 12, that's not going to happen. I don't think.
Okay.
So I think they'll get into field goal range, but I don't think they're going to be able to convert a lot of those into touchdowns in the red zone.
Okay, because the 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2s don't hurt my heart. It's anything more than 10 yards. That's when the heart attack begins. Nick, how about you? Who do you got and what's the score, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna take ASU, and I think 35-21 ASU. I think UCLA gets a late touchdown, and I also agree with Jeff. I think they're gonna get close a lot and maybe not be able to convert as much. But like we were talking about earlier with giving up big plays, that's sometimes where it comes down to hurt us. So hopefully,
Right.
we figure a way to stop that, limit the damage on those, and buckle down. So, but yeah, I think 35-21.
I like it. And have any of you guys gotten a standee in for ASU Stadium?
No.
I didn't either, not yet. But I mean, I guess it's only going to be there technically for maybe 2 games. Depends, I guess, on if we get next week, which knock on wood, and then
do they get per game pricing or what? Like
no, it's for the season. I thought.
No matter what.
I think it's for the season. So, although
right,
I'd like
the season's only one home game. Like, what are you saying for?
I was actually
the championship week of that we might be matched up against somebody, and then maybe we make a bowl or not. Bowl matchup with like the ACC or Big Ten or who knows what the hell's going to happen.
Are the bowls even happening? Are they
yeah, exactly. Yeah, some of them are already getting shut down, so who knows? I just wanted them to move. I think someone asked this, just move my standee from Sun Devil Stadium to the bank. Just move me from one place to the other.
Right.
Recycle me.
Yeah, right.
I'd be okay with that. So, where are you guys watching the game? Nick, what are you going to do?
I think we're going to watch at home. Mom, Dad will be home. I think we're just gonna do the same old and yell and scream at the TV, forewarn the neighbors, make sure they know no one's dying or anything like that. So, yeah.
Are you gonna grill or do anything, or is it just gonna hang out?
You know what? I smoked a pork shoulder for the first game, and I came
okay,
out
right
really
on.
well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get creative and do something different. So, but yeah, I think we'll just be at home, but we'll be on Twitter with the rest of Sun Devil Nation.
Exactly. Exactly. How about you, Jared?
Same. I'll just be watching on the couch. I don't know. It's it's gonna be chilly Saturday night. Like we'll probably go do something in the afternoon, like go drink beers in a park or something by ourselves, like we've been doing during this whole thing.
Right.
So yeah, Kristen will probably be in bed, the dog will be in bed, and I'll be out here just trying not to wake him up.
Right on. Exactly. Let's see. So Paul is asking, make sure you have some pork shoulder leftovers for him. And Joe Whitener is actually saying they are moving the cutouts. from Sun Devil Stadium to DFA for basketball. So actually, that is good to know. So how about you, Jeff? What do you got planned?
Yeah, at home.
Okay,
The kids will be getting to bed by that time, so I just
right
have to,
on.
not wake them up. Um, Got to go and before anything could possibly shut down anymore, grab some craft beer and
Nice.
have something going to watch it and get the tweet deck in the dark mode
Exactly.
going and and just try to have some sort of virtual connection with the rest of Sun Devil Nation, and hopefully it's not as stressful, so I don't wake up my kids yelling and get my wife
Yeah, I know.
glaring at me.
Just have a comfortable win. Don't keep it close like they always like to. So, but as always, again, thank you, gentlemen. I was just happy to visit with you, and I cannot thank you enough for being part of the round table. So I really appreciate your insights and you being part of it. As always, everyone in the chat as well. Thank you for being part of this and giving us your feedback and what you think and your thoughts. Res Devil definitely has it for 200 to 300 yards passing. Mike Rin was thinking about 255 and 170 rushing. Res said 190 rushing, and J Pop is 225 rushing as well. And Wes Frank, called you out on the prices right. It's always supposed to be $1 is the bid. But anyway, yes. But as always, if you're able,
can I
yeah,
just say
please.
something too? Hey, I just wanted to shout out Res Devil, and I'm really happy that he got over his, I mean, obviously he put it on Twitter, so I hope I'm not blowing his cover, but I'm glad he's feeling better, and I hope his daughter's feeling better, and COVID's a bitch, and I'm just
Yeah,
glad
no, absolutely.
I was really
And
worried about him there for a little bit.
it was kind of intense there watching him go through that journey, and they're just lucky that he came back. And given how his appetite has returned, Rez is healing, and we're happy about that as well. So
It has returned.
yeah, exactly, and Kim's happy she can keep him. Exactly, Kim can keep him fed.
And if you need something to cheer you up, you can just go over to the U of A recruiting boards and watch all these guys that are opting out day after day after day, because it is hilarious to see. Oh yeah, we're 0-3. 5 guys are gone.
Yep.
Can you imagine? I mean, it's just I know I was insanely critical of the hire, but can you? I mean, we were so close to having that on our side. So it's like the whole June Jones hire, right? We just we dodged a bullet.
Well, it's even worse is watching their linebacker leave and their offensive lineman leave, and they get named conference player of the week wherever they ended up, and just
yeah, exactly.
That's for us, but
that's it, man. And so, excellent. Rez says thank you, and they are both over it. They're both all clean and healing and fantastic. So love to see that as well. But excellent as always. We have a Sun Devil Summit on Friday night. Would love to see you on there. I know I believe you're getting the invites already, but if you want to join us, and then we're going to do a watch party. Starts at 4:30 Pacific. So if you want to do a virtual tailgate and just chat with a bunch of other people, we did a watch party during the USC game. It worked. Some people were ahead of others, so I'm not sure if you want to be spoiler free, you don't have to stay within the Zoom. But as always, we'll appreciate that. But Nick, Jared, and Jeff, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being on. Nick, are you doing anything? Want to tell anyone you're up to, or promote or plug anything you're up to?
No, I don't have a SoundCloud or anything like that. No, yeah, just trying to live life the best I can in this moment, working, hanging out with the fam, and glad that we have a game and glad we were able to do this. I know we've been trying to plan this for a couple weeks now, so
absolutely.
And then I had a blast with you guys, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I guess the SoundCloud is now the demo CD, right? Instead of walking around carrying it and handing them out, here's a link to my SoundCloud.
I know. I thought J-Pop was going to go create himself a SoundCloud after his tweet went viral. So
yeah, where's his blue check mark? Good gravy. How about you, Jared? How about you? What you up to?
Just working. It's
cool.
I mean, there's nothing new. So yeah. I mean, I'm a chiropractor. In case anybody didn't know, I'm in Scottsdale, so I guess you can look me up. I really don't have anything else to plug.
Whenever I'm in town, I will have you, because I haven't been to mine in a few weeks, and I'm beginning to feel it in my back. So I need to get that adjustment in. So I actually had my first adjustment this year, and it was a revelation, and I am sad I didn't do it sooner. So absolutely give Jared a call. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, just hoping everyone stays safe. I'm gonna keep it, keep my bring Whataburger to California mission going.
I'm down for that. In and out for life, but Whataburger in California would be
What
good.
we need is to get a Patrick Mahomes from Texas to move here, and then he can bring like 20 of them, like he did to Kansas City.
Yeah, he just buys them.
Yeah,
A
and
truckload of ketchup.
That's it. I mean, that's why that's why there were so many I don't know if it was Papa Murphy's in the Denver area, because Manning just bought a crap ton of franchises. The same thing with Five Guys. He like owns all the Five Guys in like Montana and Idaho. He just has like 20, 30 franchises. So they're all his, so that's all we need. But they're not franchised, are they? Whataburgers?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
I guess anyway we would see them.
I just want one down the street for me. That's
Yeah,
all
I know.
What kind of Whataburger fan if you don't even know that they're franchised or not?
Yeah, see, I'm
I
not.
guess,
That's why
Too
it's
far
because
on
of
the
the,
honey butter chicken
Talking
biscuit.
too far.
yeah, that's for me. It's In and Out, Five Guys, and then Whataburger.
Yeah, but other than that, just trying to connect with everybody on social media and stay and keep the the Sun Devil spirit alive, being distant as I am.
Absolutely.
I have my alter ego, Evil Sparky, if y'all want to follow that. And
Oh,
being
you're
there-
evil, Sparky.
Hey, look at
I didn't know that.
secret
All
identity
right.
revealed.
And
I'll
so
look
if you
behind
want
the
to
curtain.
yell at people or make fun of BYU's strength of schedule, feel free to
Amen to that.
follow back. Yeah, BYU may play a ranked team this week if Liberty can't play the
Did you
Chanticleers.
see that? I know.
Any
I
team,
saw that.
anytime, right?
Yeah, except Washington because that might be bad. I don't know.
Exactly. No, we need to. And anyway, whatever. And Nick Rez gives shout out to your dad. So shout out to your dad
Well,
from Rez. Absolutely. So
I got you, Rez.
exactly. So Whataburger is franchised per their site, per Jonathan the man Poppy. So he's definitely got the viral tweet, and now he's schooling us. So we are blessed.
That the celebrity says it goes, right?
Exactly. That's it. We got to make sure of it. So again, gentlemen, thank you so much. Stay on the Zoom real quick. I'm going to do a quick sign off, and then we will chat and catch up, and everything else. But everyone else, seeing you on the Sun Devil Summit on Friday. Still trying to rearrange a UCLA writer for a UCLA preview tomorrow, but the UCLA writers have been extremely unresponsive. So we'll see what happens. If nothing happens, then who knows? But anyway, as always, I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for being part of this and spreading the word of the best social club in the universe. As always, everyone out there, make sure you love yourself, and especially nowadays, love those around you. And as we go ahead and continue to talk through the weekend, make sure every day